so he signals up there. Wait. That's cool. That was a red eye. If we tell when it's on. You ready, Eric?
We're going to share something.
Wait. You got to give us a signal.
Oh.
There we go. That's our signal.
We're going to share something with you today that's just not found in any book. It's not found in any video. It's not taught publicly. And it's certainly not taught the way we're going to teach you right now. The story is that a number of years ago, I wanted to study the techniques of someone who was a master trainer of hypnosis who had retired. And I called the person up on the phone, and they told me, "Sorry, I'm retired. Didn't you read my website?" I said, "Yeah, I read your website, and your website says that you do group trainings, but that you are retired. So how about I put together a group and you do the training?" "No, goodbye." A couple of weeks later, I got a phone call, and it was, "If you put together the group, I'll do the training." Put together a group, and you know what it's like trying to convince people to train with someone that they've never heard of, and you don't even know what they do? But evidently, I found some people who trusted my judgment, and we went off to the training. And there we are, we're at the training. We're so excited. We are going to train with this guy, one of the best. And we sit down. Half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. Nothing special. And I'm like sitting in my chair going lower and lower, and all the people are looking at me going, "We paid all this money, and we paid the airfare and the hotel, and we took off from work. You're dead meat." And there was somebody there who had trained with this person previously and called out, "Would you like to explain what you've been doing all along?" He was doing something? Huh? I consider myself pretty, I grasp things pretty quickly. He was doing something? And the guy says, "No. That's not the way I work." But the rest of the day, I'm thinking, okay, he's doing something. I haven't a clue what he's doing, but now I believe that he's doing something. And the rest of the day, didn't get it. So that night, I discovered that there was a secret to getting the information. I grabbed the former student, took him to a bar, and started buying him beer. And after about the third or fourth beer, he said, "I could lose my head for telling you this, but you might want to get curious about X, Y, and Z tomorrow." Okay. So I go back, and the next day I start paying attention to X, Y, and Z, and there's something going on, but the rest of the group is like, "What the heck is going on here? What are we doing here? This is a waste of time." Next night, we go to the bar, start buying beer, and it's very interesting that I can't get the girl who's the waitress bringing the beer, I cannot get her attention at all. He, on the other hand, has no problem getting her attention even from across the restaurant. As a matter of fact, as soon as he just turns his head, she is running over to the table to take the order, chatting with him, smiling with me. I'm cold borscht. But he is, the life of the party. Said, all right, what's going on? And he started teaching me something. And it was if someone had come and took the lens cap off the lens, and I think I began to see things for the first time in my own eyes. Went back the next day, and it was like, holy camole, okay, there's something here. Came back, called Kenrick. Kenrick said, nah. I went back again. I said, Kenrick, you've got to come with me to this thing. No, Kenrick, look, I'm bringing more friends of mine. A whole bunch of us are going back the second time because we think that there's really something worthwhile here. Kenrick, you got to come. No. Kenrick, we'll pay for you to come. Well, okay. So Kenrick's like, okay. Then, nah. Next time, Kenrick, not only are we going to pay for you to come, we've already paid for you to come. You're coming. Kenrick says, okay, I'm coming. We agree to meet at a hotel, and we're going to go together, and Kenrick goes, my hard drive crashed. I lost all of my data. I can't come. Final time, Kenrick comes. He sits there, and the first day he's sitting, I'm going to kill Harlan. There's nothing here going on. What is going on here? That night we go to the bar, explain, Kenrick, look for this. And Kenrick is, okay, there's something going on here. And every night we would get together and start detailing what was going on. And what we found was just the most amazing thing. That here was this person who, in teaching a group of 15, 20, 30 people, had set up and was maintaining a constant stream of unconscious communication with every single person in the room. And that if, for example, he wanted to talk to someone over here, he could look in this direction, carry on an entire conversation, tell a whole story, but the person over there that he intended the message to get through, out of the entire room, would have gotten that message. And if while he was doing that, he wanted a person over there to zone out into trance, he could do that too. He had an entire room literally in the palm of his hands, and yet the people there had no clue as to what was going on. And we found out that the person was the single worst explainer of what he was doing. Well, every night, Kenrick and I worked and found out what was doing, and we actually built the model. We did something that had literally never been done in putting together this model, and we called it unconscious persuasion. And when we taught unconscious persuasion last year, which was the first time that any of this stuff had been taught publicly, literally step by step, now do this, the people who were there, many of whom who had had advanced training in NLP, their response was, we didn't even know that this stuff existed. And it all starts with one step that we're going to share right now. Now, the piece that we're going to share right now is so incredibly simple. And it's so simple that if you do not practice this on the lab animals outside, you just will not believe how powerful it is. Now, I can tell you that I took my wife to one of these trainings. And she learned this technique. And my wife is a good student. And she does this technique all the time on automatic pilot. Now, you take my wife anywhere, and she'll say hello to people, and they will immediately tell her, a total stranger, their entire life story. Everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. As a matter of fact, when you're in a hurry, the advice is don't take my wife along because the checkout counter is going to tell my wife every single thing that has ever happened to her since high school, and sometimes even before. And it's not because of anything other than the fact that my wife is unconsciously using this technique. It will get people to open up to you faster than anything you have ever seen, you have ever heard of, and you will be able to establish a direct channel into the person's unconscious. And no one will have a clue that it has been done. Should I not tell them that I've done it with every single person that I've shaken hands with? Well, you were at the seminar. It doesn't count. Okay? And there's a reason for that. This is so simple and so elegant, and that's why we need it demonstrated.
And before we do, I want to mention that I want to concur with Harlan when he talks about it being simple. It is. It's so simple, you'll wonder how you ever missed it, which is why we all missed it. It's just one of those things in human behavior that it's just so simple that you just miss it. Remember I asked you today as you were going through your exercises, I said to you, now how many of you saw that people do things routinely? They do things habitually when you say hello to them. And I asked you what you were doing when you said hello. You're going to learn why I asked you that now in a couple of minutes. Airplane?
Yeah. Let's see. Looking for non-volunteers. Mona?
How about Paul?
Okay. Come on up.
Come on up.
You're the man, Paul. I guess so.
Let's do it for Laura. Just instructions and whatnot to do.
Okay, wait, hold on. No, the other way.
Okay.
Here's the scene. These two folks met at a seminar called Kenrick's Breakthroughs in Persuasion. And it's now no longer January.
Yes, February.
It's no longer February.
Yes, February.
It's October. And they happened to meet at Fort Lauderdale Airport. And meet a lot of people in the airport. So that's the instruction. You go to that corner of the room. You go to that corner of the room. No, you're not being punished. And right in front of here, everybody open up your eyes and pay attention. And You're going to come towards the center of the room and say hello. Action.
Hello, Paul.
Oh, hi, Mother.
Nice to see you again. My goodness, it's been a long time.
Who was that? Oh, Kenrick seminar, right?
Yeah. How you doing?
Good.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for stopping.
Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, great. Back to your positions. Okay, now, I hope you were all paid attention. Now, we want you to pay attention again, as unfortunately, we didn't get that down perfectly on film, so we need to do that take again. Okay, folks? Ready? Roll 'em.
Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Perfect. Very good. Okay, let's give them a hand. Okay, have a seat.
Interesting. What happened? What happened the first time? Let's go back to the first time.
Well, they met, they shook hands, they
When did they meet?
in
How far? More than that. More than that. They met way out here. They met when they first made eye contact. They didn't meet when they shook hands. It had already happened. And the second time, what happened? When she tried to make eye contact, he just ignored her. What did she do? Well, but what happened the second that he didn't return her gaze, that he didn't return her contact? What happened? Did you see her face?
she felt rejected.
Okay, now let's take this and ask you guys to refine it further. The word expression used that they made eye contact. What did that mean? What specifically did you see? I can't see an intention. What specifically did you see? Recognition. What's recognition? What specifically did you see? You can't see communication. You have to tell me something specifically that happened. That's a behavior that's directly observable.
Saying a smile.
A smile. Who says a smile? Okay, who smiled? She smiled. Okay. Does she smiling have something to do with eye contact? So who acknowledged who? Who smiled? What happened? Chicken or the egg? What was the first thing that took place?
She raised her eyebrow.
Okay. From across the room, when they saw each other and neither one had a clue as to what they were going to do, what they secretly did was they said hello before they said hello. They looked each other in the eye. She raised her eyebrows in greeting, and Paul did what he's been doing consistently. He bobbed his head to say hello.
Now, it's interesting, by the way, it's better. You can see this better when you're actually doing the exercise than when you're watching, as you are. But what's very interesting is, to start the exercise, Paul had to physically break the hello. He had to look down and away to try to start walking so that he could then see her. I don't know if you saw that to begin with, but it was very interesting. He had to look away from her to get to the point of being able to then re-see her, because they were already doing it. It was already starting just when they went to their respective corners.
Now, let's follow this up. They came and they were closer. Now, at this point, you could not have seen Mona because she had turned a little bit away from you. But Mona, even though the handshake still kept going on, Mona was still sending her hello. What's Mona's hello? her eyebrows. She kept sending hellos. And he kept sending his hello. So even when they were shaking hands and talking about how great they were, Mona's hello was her eyebrow. Paul's hello is the head tilt. Okay? Now imagine if Paul had been at the last training and knew what was going on, and Mona comes out and says hello and raises her eyes. Paul's sensory acuity is wide open. He sees that eye raise, and he matches it. So what happens is the unconscious greeting that the person is giving, which in this case it's only an example because other people do other things. Everybody is unique. She raises her eyebrows in greeting. You raise your eyebrows right back at her. For a reason that she cannot explain, she has a sense that she has made contact with you. She has picked you out of a crowded airport and has now identified you. You have gone from one of the crowd to a friendly. There's a friendly. There's someone that I know. And what that does, when you acknowledge the person's greeting to you with their own greeting, they are going to respond, most typically, either by repeating the action again or with a smile. Whatever they give you now as the second action, you acknowledge that exact same action again, and then, because you've just established a direct channel into their unconscious, and this is all taking place in a second or 2 seconds, so what do you want to do if you want to be able to recall a behavior in the future? For those of you who have learned NLP, if you want a behavior to be recalled in the future, what do? You anchor it. And the way that we teach you to anchor it is to look over at their left ear or their right ear. I turn to my left, I look at their right ear. Split second. They greet me, I answer their greeting. They, on a totally unconscious level, send me an acknowledgement that they've seen it. I acknowledge it, and I look over at their right ear. I look to my left at their right ear. Anytime in the future that I want to channel my communication directly to their unconscious, all I have to do is look over at that ear, and whatever I'm saying goes right in.
Okay, that is the strategy. But let me talk for a moment about why this strategy took us so long to figure out and why it takes practice. All right? Watch. Actually,
Do you want to do it and demonstrate it?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah. Okay. This is wrong.
And we're going to do this in real slow motion.
And I'm going to do it wrong first, so you can see how it took us so long to figure this out, and you'll understand how to make this quicker for you. All right?
What am I?
I'm going to say hi, and I'm going to bobblehead it.
Oh, and I'm
You're gonna just repeat back what I do. Hey, Hyman. Okay. Now, so you've seen people that they'll go, hey, the salesman. Okay. Or I went to a Latin American country quite a number of times last year, and they have a very strange way they say hello. Strange to me. They go like this. Guys do this. And I walked in this place, the guy goes, He's so sure now about this, what's going on. But what was very interesting is I just watched, and after a couple minutes I got, okay, this is the cultural thing. And so I would walk in, and people would go, and I go, they loved me. I fit right in. Okay? I was one of them. Like, yeah, brother, how are you? You know? I was like, oh, this is amazing. All right? So whatever they do, it's not for us to decide. It's we just do what they do. But the problem is, remember I asked you earlier, what do you do when you say hello? What do you do? I asked that for a reason. You see those little bobblehead dolls that you can get? You know, they sit on the car windows or whatever, and the little head goes, okay? That's what you don't want to do. Because what that does is it
contaminates
the situation.
The message.
Right. So let's do it for real.
So Kenrick is saying hello to me. Hi, Kenrick. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Now, what was the actual, when he finally did it, he's trying not to contaminate too, so it's hard. When you get two people that know this, so it's a little strange. But what was his hello?
Tilt of the head.
What? Tilt of the head, and it was actually a slight little grin and a tilt of his head. So I did the exact same thing, but I had to wait until he took a long time to do it, but it's because both of us are so much not trying to contaminate. We don't want to do anything. When we walk up to someone, okay, then it was real fast. But I waited a second. He was trying not to too.
But then he did, and he does it again.
Okay, it's bam, it's that fast.
And people are, as you've learned, people are habitual, and so that once you've gotten their hello, you've pretty much gotten it.
Now, see, I just did it back to him just now when Harlan was talking. I just did his little hello with his mouth, and he's like paying attention to me. He's like turned right away from Harlan, didn't even pay attention to him anymore.
That's right. And I was busy saying hello to Mona over here, and she. Okay. Okay. So the bottom line is that you have this. We're talking about if 5 seconds go by, you've missed it. Okay. And once the person does it, you can reestablish it any time in the future that this communication is marked out for them by just look at their ear first and then talk. Now, there are a lot more things, a lot more complicated, but this is the essence. But this is what you should not do. Hi, Kenrick.
Hi. Well, yeah, he's going and I'm going, and you know.
Okay, hello is only one time. So once you've said hello, the person doesn't stand there and go, "Hello, Kenrick."
Hello.
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 Hi.
They don't do that with words, and they don't do it with their body. So this is, you have a split second to catch that.
Wait, I want to say that. I want to say that more. Remember earlier, Harlan said Mona kept sending her hello, and Paul kept sending his hello. Why? Well, I'll tell you. See, what happened is, I'm firing off her hello, and I'm speaking to you, and Mona's grinning ear to ear, okay? But what happens is, it wasn't acknowledged. So it went like this. They missed. There was no acknowledgement, okay? When someone sends their hello, and you send it back, it's immediately acknowledged by having it sent again. You send it back again, and that's it.
Now,
Then anchor.
I think of it as, have you ever had a fax machine where you try to fax something and the two faxes can't talk to one another? It just doesn't work. You dial it again, and eventually they hook up. One fax sends out a tone. The other one sends out a tone. Then they negotiate, try and agree on a transfer protocol. Once they're both speaking the same language, the fax can go through. But until they acknowledge it, they're just two separate fax machines. Neither one knows what the other one is doing. Okay, so this is something that takes place, and there are numerous ways that people say hello. People say their hellos with full head tilts. People say their hellos with unique bobs or positions. And there are
eye things.
Eyebrows, one eyebrow, something with their jaw. The more you start paying attention to this, the more you will notice all these unique idiosyncratic things that people do. Just to give you an idea, that one of the people who has studied this is one of the highest paid jury consultants in the country. And he is hired to say hello to every juror, other than consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, whatever you want to call it, when they come into the room, and throughout the trial, when there is something important to be said, he looks and he anchors that behavior, and he has established separate communication with every single juror, and he just sits at the defense table, and the entire trial, that's all he does, is work the jury totally unconsciously. And he gets a huge amount of money, but also he's extremely effective.
Which is why he gets a huge amount of money, huh?
Okay, question.
If you set that in for someone else, I can fire him too just by looking at the record.
No, because you haven't been part. Okay, let me break that down a little bit further. The reason that I have that anchor and that it's effective is because I've been identified as a friendly. If you have not been identified as a friendly, and you know this person's pattern, and you just come up to them and you start doing the pattern, they're going to be taken aback. They're going to, what's going on here? They're going to think that you are mocking them. But with all the people that I met here so far, which was probably a good 2/3 of the room, and I said hello, there wasn't a single person who said, "Hey, you just did what I did." It took place in an instant. And it didn't matter whether it was in here this morning, or in the bar yesterday afternoon, or in the lobby, or out in the parking lot. I made a point of doing it to every single person. So that when I look at your ear and say, "And now you're going to buy my next product," I wouldn't do that, of course.
But we could be a jury consultant, though, couldn't we?
Or why not? The bottom line is that this stuff works. Now, we're going to give you an exercise right now to do here. And we're going to make this obvious with you. But the way this is really going to work is when you go out there, when you go into the restaurants tonight, and you say hello unconsciously to the waitress, when you say hello unconsciously to the bartender, and you anchor it, and there's a darn good reason why that person had better service than I did, because she had identified him, out of all the people in the bar that night, she had identified him as a friendly, a likable person. And she was very open and receptive to receiving communication from him, whereas I was just one of the pack. Now, there's another thing that you can do. I'm going to teach you this, but the second part we're not going to practice in here. We're only going to practice out there. And that is, each person, believe it or not, has their own unique walk. And if you see someone coming and you copy their walk and you walk up to them using their own walk, they will have the exact same sensation as if you had done the whole unconscious hello piece. I tell the story about someone who I kind of new, but nothing very special. And one day I was walking, and I said, you know what, let me just start copying people's walks, and let's see from how far away people will notice me doing their walk. And I was maybe 50 yards away from somebody walking towards me, and I started doing the walk. And at 30 yards away, he looked up, smiled, made a beeline directly to me and said, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in such a long time. How's your family? And was talking as if we were the oldest. We were just best buds who just got together to exchange stories after 20 years. And this is somebody that I barely knew. But it was the walk that did it. So when you're out there tonight and tomorrow, start practicing on people. Okay? But in here, we're going to do it with finding out what somebody's hello is. And here's the step-by-step thing that you're going to do. We're going to get you into...
Hold on just 1 second.
Okay.
So today I've been teaching you, when they move, you move. Now do you understand? It's not any old movement, although it can be. That's what will maintain it, is if you keep on, they sit forward, you sit forward, they sit back, you sit back, they fold your arms, whatever. You can just do those kind of movements. But it's the way you start it. It's when you say hello. When they say hello, you say hello. Therefore, you have to curb yours to begin with. And that's the tough part, especially when you talk about two people that do this, okay? Like Harlan and I. So we're both curbing it because we're trying not to be bobbleheads. Because you'll contaminate. Contaminate means I go like this to you, and see, Lino starts bobbing his head too. Because he's trying to be nice. People want to say hello. It's what they're driven to do. People want to connect with other people. So when you start going like this, or going like this, or going like this, okay, what happens is people want to do the same thing back. But then you don't know what their hello is. Then you have not anchored. You can't anchor because it isn't theirs. It's yours. See? So the idea is curb yours. Go to neutral. Literally, shift into neutral. And when you see theirs, then that's what you do.
Now, here's where it can be a problem. Okay? When you come up and do the Mr. Bobblehead routine, which is a lot of people do it because get them saying yes is something that every good salesperson has been told, and get them nodding. Get them nodding, because if they're nodding yes, whatever, and while you're doing that, your behavior.
Very slick.
No, I was trying to demonstrate. Okay. In any event, so Harry, behave. Okay. What you want to do is, you may have that natural inclination to do the thing, to be Mr. Jolly, be Miss Jolly. Turn it off. Okay? You've got to go into neutral, because we're going to teach you this, and it's not in the it's not part of the lesson for this, but maybe Kenrick will let me sneak in one additional piece, which, when combined with this, will make you utterly unstoppable. It will make you utterly unstoppable. But it all starts with this.
We don't want them to know that.
Oh, no. You'll have to get the set.
No, you can teach me. All right. Let's break it down for them. Break it down.
Go ahead.
The examples you've been giving are all between people who already know each other.
No. Well, only because people here have met in one way or another.
Works even better when you don't.
Correct. And just be open for anything that people might do. I am constantly surprised at things people do for their hellos. We've indicated one tilt. I've seen people tilt their head so many ways I thought they were going to need a chiropractor. And you would think, gosh, I repeat that back, they're going to know. They don't know. They're like, my long-lost brother.
That's right.
So basically, you just go in neutral. You wait for them to say hello or make the expression. you just keep a blank face
That's
and
right.
wait for them to say hello.
That's right.
And whatever they do when they say hello, you mimic.
You do, and they'll do it again.
And they'll
if
do
you
it
get
again.
right,
and
you
then what
do it
is the
again.
point? Then do you look at their ear?
You do it again, and
do
you'll
it
see
again.
them, almost every time you'll see them go to a smile.
Okay.
It almost always will end with a smile. At that point, look over their ear.
Look over their ear.
Right? I just look right at the top of their ear.
And what does that do?
Anchors it. An anchor, stimulus response conditioning, meaning that
Into them or for you?
you,
For you.
And them.
well, in other words, for you to use on them is what I'm trying to say. So when you look at their ear, they will immediately feel that same sensation of hello again.
Okay.
And this is a friendly, and you have established a communication on a level of the unconscious. Anytime you want to use it is, let's say, I know your cell phone number, okay, and I dial your cell phone number. You're going to pick up and answer, okay? I dial that number, you're always going to pick up and answer, assuming you haven't changed your phone number, okay? This is the phone number to the person's unconscious.
Even if they don't see you looking at their ear?
I promise you that if you would, nobody in a million years is going to catch you doing it. Just not going to happen.
They won't see consciously. They see
you looking that way.
right,
And then
that triggers it.
Got it.
If you're just looking for a stimulus response.
And how do you utilize that in the future?
Part two.
Part two.
By the set.
No, we're coming to that.
If I see someone across the room, whether it's a party or I'm waiting for a meeting and they're coming, I just make eye contact. That's when you do it. When you make eye contact and you acknowledge them. And
There's a reason I'm doing that. Because he made contact with me, he lifted up his eyebrows. So I just did it right back to him.
All the time.
Okay? That's it. It's as simple as that. And he immediately started laughing because he had, on some level, a cognition of, well, he did that. I did that.
So, first of all, I suspect a lot of us don't know what we do when we hello, but if we suspect they might bobble, what if they're bobbling? I mean,
Then
you can bobble.
Then you can bobble.
But they've got to do it first.
Okay?
That's right. Go neutral.
go neutral until they make some type of facial expression.
That's right.
A facial expression or unique body thing. Something.
And then when they say hello, just when they say hello, can you respond by saying hello? And then
Sure you can say hello.
But it's imperative for them to say hello first.
You can say hello. The word is not the hello. It doesn't matter whether I'm the one to verbally say the word hello or he's the word to verbally say hello. The verbals are not the essential here.
It's the unconscious
The nonverbal.
hello. Right. The unconscious hello will be said first. That's in the form of a gesture. And then the real hello.
Now, in this little experiment that we did, our little movie that we made where they said hello, I have never seen a circumstance where the people haven't said hello from a great distance because they know that they're going to have some relationship together. They're just not sure what it is. Right. So they're trying to mark each other out as friendlies, like, okay, we're in this together. We don't know what we're going to do, but we're in this. Okay? So they always say hello. Now, when you're meeting someone, you're meeting a prospect, you're meeting someone that you're going to persuade, you're a mortgage broker, you're a realtor, you're a financial planner, you run a consulting service. Now right now we're talking about face-to-face meetings. Okay? This is going to happen probably within the 20-foot greeting, a 20-foot radius. It's not going to take place when you get all the way. If you get like that, you've probably missed the show. Okay?
what if you contaminated the hello? Is there a way to correct it?
If you contaminate the hello, then what you should do is try and pick up another idiosyncratic behavior that they do, play that back to them, and see if you get the acknowledgement. In other words, if I haven't acknowledged that he did that, So that would not be, it didn't work. But on the other hand, if I do, okay, because I acknowledged it. So if the person acknowledges it unconsciously, then you know you got it. Okay? You will always, if done right, you will see that recognition. On the other hand, let's not ignore the second part of the movie, scene 2, when he walked right on by. And she got that instant look on her face of, call it pain, being ignored, whatever you want to call it. That's what's happening when we don't acknowledge people's communication. They're sending out their hellos, like one of the space explorers going out into the galaxy, sending out this radio hello, looking for friendlies. So everybody's sending out their hellos, and if you pick up and acknowledge it, that's why my wife gets everybody to tell her life story, because they're in the supermarket every day doing the scanning and bagging, and my wife comes up and they say, "How are you?" And my wife says, "Just fine." And it feeds it right back, and they go, "Wow, this is really a long day. You may think that I'm a scanner and bagger, but really I'm an artist putting myself through, really, and whatever." And everybody on the line is like, okay, why are the two of them talking? They've never met. But it happened, I can't send if we're in a hurry, I can't send my wife into a grocery store to pick up something, because it's going to be an all-day affair as she meets her new friend.
Just before we came out here, about a little less than a week ago, I was at Safeway getting some things to bring home. And as I was standing in line, here comes a couple of girls, and the teller or the checker, bagger is right here, and the girls walk up like this, and they go, "Oh, hi, how are you?" The checker looks at them and says, "Oh, okay." And they said, "Well, did you ever get that class straightened around?" And what I noticed is the two girls trying to get the checker was busy doing bagging my stuff, right, checking me out, and she did not return their hello, and they did not. They were completely missing each. What class is that? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess we got it straightened out. And they went back and forth. They completely missed each other. I mean, like I was surprised that the conversation lasted as long as it did. But the two that came down to talk to the checker were insistent on talking. They were going to try to get this thing done. And the checker dismissed them entirely. And one of the ways, because I wanted to hurry up. I was a little fed up, right? I wanted to get out of the line. So I looked at the checker, and she looked at me, and I did her hello right then to her, and she did it right back. And these girls faded. She just ignored them. And, "Okay, well, we'll see you later," they said. And she just kept on dealing with me and doing my stuff. So there's some practical uses for it in everyday life in so many ways you won't believe it. Nevertheless, just selling. But, you can get someone's attention anywhere, and they will instantly identify you as someone who they should talk to and be associated with. There's a reason, that they need to talk to you. And this stuff works gangbusters everywhere, all the time. Every one of you that came in, that we met, we were doing this kind of thing with. And all that happens is, it just feels good. It's like, oh, okay. But once you've got that initial jump start. And that's the key. Got the initial jump start. So the trust starts flowing. And away you go.
Okay.
Let's break it down.
Here's the exercise. First, we're going to do this in a larger group. And because this is instantaneous, that means that you're going to be able to do this very, very rapidly. Let's take 5 people in a group. One person goes into the circle, okay? And everyone who is on the outside of the circle, one at a time, will take turns saying hello to the person in the circle. The person in the circle picks up what the piece of behavior is and feeds it back to them, builds that communication. If the person on the outside of the circle lifts up one eye, they lift up one eye, look for the acknowledgement, and then they move on. So you're spending probably a grand total of a maximum of 2 to 5 seconds with a person. So you're going to go around. Everybody on the outside is going to have a turn. Then that person goes out, and the next person goes in until everyone has gone. Please, this will work much, much better if you are in a group of people that you don't know. So the posse that came down from Connecticut should certainly spread around the room. If you want to get this down, don't work with someone that you know, because you've probably already contaminated the stuff from the year one.
The question is, you're letting them say you want to say hello to someone. You let them say hello to you, then you acknowledge that, then you acknowledge back the acknowledgement they give you, right?
That's correct.
But if you are
And then
Anchor. Look
and
over
then you
there.
look at the other right here. But if you want to say hello to a stranger, how do you get their hello?
you could either do the walk, or as you go up to them and lift your hand to say hello, and remember, it's not the verbal that does it, they will still respond non-verbally.
So you get their hello by eye contact? Or?
Whatever they do, you pay attention to. Okay? You walk up to them. Okay? And what did he do? I didn't acknowledge it, but what did he do? He tilted his head. He tilted his head. Okay? So when you go up and you're just saying hello, they're still going to do it. Same head tilt. Okay? The bottom line is that everybody has a unique pattern and they're doing it. If you acknowledge, I come up, he's controlling himself. Okay? A little head tilt, I do the head tilt, he's smiling, I smile back, and look at his ear. That's all. This is not rocket science, okay? Guys, the best way is to get up and do it, and then to get out there and do it. And when we combine part 2 with this, you owe us big time. All right. This should take about 10 minutes because it's such a fast exercise.
Okay, how did it work? Yeah.
It's my habit to take the initiative.
Yes.
So it's hard to wait
It is.
for somebody else to give me
The hardest part of this is getting out of your own way. It's so fast. It happens so quick. You've got to just get out of your own way. Absolutely true. What else? What else happened?
I anticipate the second.
You anticipate the second one. Okay. You'll learn. It just a little bit of practice. That's okay. Yeah, I know.
I found it's very hard to do when someone already knows that what you're trying to do, and then it's kind of like, who's going to give in first?
Yeah, well, and when you're doing the exercises here, just be yourself. Just say hello like you would normally do it so that you can get the hang of it. But that's what we're saying. Outside of people who know this, it's just a slam dunk. It's so easy it isn't funny. In fact, I highly recommend that you go out into the world immediately after hearing this and interact with people and watch them say hello all the time. They're saying it nonstop.
Restaurants, there's a Publix, which is the local supermarket. Go in there and start interacting with people, and start it right after this.
Yeah, and the like notice when you're talking to me, you're bobbleheading, you're going like this, okay? And I'm doing it right back with you, and you smile, I smile, and there we go. And people do it all the time. They can't help it. Yeah.
We couldn't figure one out. Maybe you could help us in our group. Norman, I don't know where he is, but we tried all different things to determine where his hello was, and none
Where's
of us
Norman?
had any clue. There's Norman.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it here.
Okay.
We don't have time right this minute. But one of the ways you can always do it is just walk up to somebody and do it. Now, like I just did with him, he didn't broadcast much, but as my hand came, okay, he does the same thing. He puts his mouth together and then goes like that. The minute I do it, he does it right back. Okay? That's what his mouth is doing. See? It's that quick. It's that fast. Yeah.
So basically, you're not even supposed to smile first, wait for them to smile, be totally
I go into neutral.
neutral, total neutral, okay. Not even a smile. Okay, until
Okay,
they're-
so he. They can't help it. So if you're having trouble, like with him, okay, go put up your hand. Okay, so see, he was pretty subdued, but still he went. Okay, and that's all I have to do, and do it right back, that fast. Okay, yes. Yeah.
You're working with clients that you've worked with for a while, and they know your demeanor, and that tendency to smile first. Will they notice a difference?
Yes, he's saying if you're working with clients that you've worked with for a while and they know your demeanor, will they find it weird if you don't smile first? Yeah, they might. Here's the thing, you've already contaminated that. So what you want to do is the next time, go ahead and be yourself, but just walk up and say hi. See? It takes you a second, but then, he's like, he gets that smile, and there was that nod, and there we go. We're off to running. So you can still go up and be nice. You don't have to hold back. You can just go up and hi. Okay? There we go. He opens right up every time. And so if you can't find out what someone's doing, stick out your hand, and you watch. They'll say hello real quick. All right. Tomorrow, we will teach you, just a moment. Just one second. Tomorrow, we will teach you how to establish a channel directly into the unconscious of the person that you want to persuade. What if you could tell if a person is saying yes or no before they say it with their mouth? But better still, what if you could anchor that just like we showed you how to anchor the hello? So that if I want you to say yes, I can fire off an anchor, and you'll feel yes inside yourself or no inside yourself. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Would that be useful?
Yeah.
Powerful.
Supposing you're talking about your product to a person that you want to sell it to, and you can all of a sudden make them feel yes. Ooh. Or they bring up a competitor and you make them feel no. Would that be useful? That's only a small part of what we taught at Unconscious Persuasion, but we want to teach it to you tomorrow because it's really dynamic. And once you master it, you'll walk around getting yeses and nos from people at will without them even knowing you're doing it. And you'll be able to anchor it, and you'll be able to open a channel right into their mind anytime you want and give suggestions or whatever else you want to do. And they will simply accept them as if what you're saying is gospel. It's very powerful, combined with other languaging techniques and things. Yes. Okay. Question real quick?
Yeah, it was just, you had mentioned doing the same thing with a waitress or somebody in a public, so I'm assuming it doesn't require a handshake.
No, it doesn't. In fact, when a waitress comes up, she'll go, hi, or whatever they do. But the minute they make eye contact, that's when you go, whatever they do, you do right back at them. Okay? But you'll see, they'll have an idiosyncratic movement. It's not the word hello, it's the or. Yeah, strangest gesture I've ever seen. Yeah, real quick.
It worked with me with watching what they do and trying to reflect or whatever, but the anchoring, as I was trying to do it, is there a lot of work that before you could really
You just practice it.
Understand, because I was unaware of anything going on at all.
Right.
I was trying to anchor it.
Just practice, and you'll start to get it. It just takes some repetition. Remember, in here, everybody knows it. Everybody's looking for it. Out there, nobody knows it. Nobody's looking for it. And so they're natural. They respond big, and you just do your thing. All right. We're going to take a break. Let's take literally like 4 minutes, okay? And then we're going to do a light and sound session. Will be done for the night, okay? So just stretch if need be. If you have to run to the bathroom, do that. But just stretch and then come right back. 4 minutes. We're ready to begin. Oh, I can't.
Okay, go ahead. I'm not in the red light district yet. should have 4 examples in front of you. The last example is unconscious incompetence. You're doing it at your regular speed. It's just probably not very good. One level up is the level of one level up is the level of conscious incompetence. Okay? You're trying, but it's just not very good. Then there was the one where you did it with the correct hand and you copied it, but you were trying very hard. That's the level of conscious competence. It's good, but you have to try to do it. But when you just signed your hand, signed your signature the first time when I asked you to just give me your signature, that was the level of unconscious competence. That's where you want to get. Unconscious competence. That's where you want to get. You want to be at the level where all of the behaviors, all of the acts, all of the persuasion tactics that you use are that simple and that automatic that you do them without any thought whatsoever. They're just built into you. Now, we gave you one piece of the puzzle, and there are really many, many more pieces, but one of the pieces that we wanted to share with you, and it's not really part of the seminar, but we're going to just toss it in, and that is the more you build your sensory acuity skills. Right now, so far, we've just been talking about what the person is doing visually. But the more you pay attention to their voice, the more you pay attention to their body, the better your level of persuasion is going to be. You will see things that you were totally unaware of. Now, yesterday, Kenrick introduced the concept of the bobbing head doll. Okay? And people already, as soon as we say it, start the involuntary motion of their heads. How many people here have ever had the experience of thinking that a person was going to buy, purchase, complete a sale, become a client, and it didn't happen? How many people? Okay. Or the meeting ends, you are actually going, yes. And then it just never happens. It fades away into oblivion and so forth. The reason that happened is because you were missing the broadcasts that were in front of you. Okay? Now, fortunately, very fortunately, when we persuade, when we present, we are not persuading to a brick wall. We are persuading to someone who is giving us immediate feedback on what we are saying. But 99 times out of 100, we don't pay any attention to it because we don't know what they are doing. Let me give you, for instance, what am I saying now? 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 What about now? Now, first of all, I would like to commend you all on some really excellent hallucinations.
And we're saying
The reason that you don't know what I was saying is because you never checked it out. Okay? Everyone has, just like they have a nonverbal hello, they have a nonverbal yes. And they have a nonverbal no. And if you find out what their nonverbal yes is, and you find out what their nonverbal no is, and while you're talking to them, you check out your answer in advance and you get a nonverbal no. Let me ask you, do you think that maybe that would be a good time to avoid a close if you're getting a no? Real good time. And what if your normal discussion takes 2 hours? Your normal presentation takes 2 hours. It could take less. Let's say your normal thing takes 2 hours. And someone sticks with you for the whole 2 hours, they're yours. But at the 20-minute mark, every time you ask a question, you're getting a nonverbal yes, a strong nonverbal yes. Think that would be a good time to close? But what if you miss it? No one sits in front of you like a brick wall. They are broadcasting it. It might be a lift of their finger. It might be a twitch of their upper lip. It might be might be the size of their upper lip. Milton Erickson used to look at the color of people's fingernails, unless they were wearing polish. Under certain conditions, the color of under their fingernails actually changes. Now, if you're paying serious attention, you know what's going on in their mind, even if they don't. This person that I've trained with for years, when he's doing therapy with someone, and he gets an unconscious yes, he'll say, I'm just kind of curious if you've discovered what you need. And the person will say no. But unconsciously they'll say yes. Guess which one he goes with? He goes with the unconscious. Always go with the unconscious. So if a person says yes, but gives you an unconscious no, you are absolutely wasting your time. I'll give you a hypnosis story. This lady comes in and she wanted to lose weight. And all she's telling me about her life is lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to get into a bathing suit. I want to lose weight. My husband wants me to lose weight. Lose weight. So we come in to the session. I sit down, all excited, and I said, all right, my name's Dr. Kilstein. I asked them a couple of questions. So are you ready to get started to lose weight? She says, absolutely. So anyone at that point who would proceed and do a weight loss session should be amputated at the neck. Because is the person going to get any results whatsoever? None. So you need to learn how to recognize a person's yes and a person's no. Combine that with the skill of the unconscious hello, and your persuasion skills go into a new world where you know that the person who is saying, no, this isn't going to happen, is really going to buy. Absolutely certain. You You could go write it. You could go hire a builder to redo your house on it because you know what the answer is going to be. Or when you're negotiating with them and everybody's in their positioning and you look at them and say, I just wonder if that's your final position. And they say, absolutely, but signal a no, that there's room for more movement. But, well, they did say that that's their absolute position. I might as well just fold my cards and agree right now. Or maybe it's time to keep pressing and watch their cards fold. So when you are talking with a person, when you are watching the person, when you are paying attention to every single thing that a person does, that's when you are moving in the direction of unconscious competence. That means that when you ask them a question, that's a yes or no question, and all of a sudden they shift their feet, that doesn't mean necessarily that they had an itch in their foot. You have to check that out again. And what happens if they keep shifting their foot the same way every time you ask a question like that? That's their signal. But of course, if you are reading from a script and following your script and ignoring the feedback in front of you, you're not going to get any of it. So the number one takeaway that I would like to give you is that I want you totally open to the people that you are working with, to the point where you start to feel dumb if somebody asks you a question about what was going on and you missed it. Like I had a client who was extremely puzzling to me. He was doing some very odd nonverbal things while I was talking to him. Very odd. I don't mean dangerous. I just mean I had never seen these patterns before. And I called up my teacher, and he said, what was he doing with his feet? And I felt like an idiot because I had paid absolutely no attention. But the whole show is, no, what were they doing with their feet? Okay. You have to take in the full person. You have to take in the full picture. Otherwise, you're dealing with only half the show. And this stuff in face-to-face work is just devastatingly powerful. Whatever, and you can do this stuff over the phone, but this stuff is so devastatingly powerful that literally you won't hear a no because you'll never close the person. They're going to want to close themselves. Can you begin to understand how useful that is? I'd like to do an exercise with you before we come back and talk some more about this. And this is an exercise that we've never done, so bear with us. What I'd like you to do is we're going to call off just ones and twos the whole room. Okay? You're 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2. 1,
2,
2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
1.
1, 2.
2.
Okay. All right. Here's what I want. I'll give you the instructions, and then we're going to do this exercise. We're going to have everyone come up to the front of the room, but first I want the ones here with their backs to the stage, spread out all the way across here. Okay? Then after all the ones are in position, then I want the twos facing them. Okay? Let's do that, and then I'll tell you what to do. We can turn off the recording. One's up here first.